But yes,
what's up? Speaking on your mata, killing.
Speaking of fake whack friends, I want to get into Gen Z and how I think Gen Z is lonely AF. Now, I have a few theories on how this came about, but why do you think Gen Z is in a lonely era right now?
I don't think Gen Z is lonely.
Why?
I think Gen Z is like the first generation in America, at least, or maybe even across the world, where like boundaries are very important to us. And I feel like with boundaries, a lot, I mean, some people's boundaries could be a little excessive, but I feel like with boundaries come not dealing with people's shit. And I feel like when you are a person who stands on your boundaries and things that you're not going to do, things you're not going to accept, there could be a season in your life where you're just not around a lot of people.
This is true. And
it just comes down to, like, is your boundaries and, like, what you want for yourself in your life, is that more important than being surrounded by people? Yeah. And for a lot of us, that is the case. Like,
true.
And I don't fault nobody for that. As far as like friendships and things, I think there are some people who are lonely, but I think that could also just have to do with our social skills not being as developed as generations before us because of social media. And that just could be like an aspect of it. And when it comes to romantically, I think a lot of us are faced with the reality that we were sold a fairy tale. And when it comes to women, we're just not willing. I think we're more accepting of possibilities of being alone. And does that feel great all the time for some of us? Some of us, well, I mean, some of y'all get lonely, but I mean, I'm cool. Some of us are okay with the idea of maybe a romantic long-term partnership is not gonna happen. Because I'm not willing, that goes back to the boundaries. Like, I'm not willing to let certain shit slide, and I'm not willing to settle now, or I will wait for as long as it takes to get what I want. Like, that's a lot of, and loneliness could come with that.
Yeah, you know what's so crazy? That's a really good point. When I thought about it, I didn't even think about that, how having boundaries and standing on business does equate to isolation. And you do end up, having eras where you just on your lonesome, and that's really okay. I mean, it is what it is, because I'd rather be in my solitude than deal with stuff I don't deserve. You know what I'm saying? But when I was thinking about it, from like a place of after 2020. And I think that the forced isolation caused voluntary isolation. Like, people got very comfortable with being alone. And it just started to trickle into every other aspect when it comes to interacting with people. And that makes me think about also social media. That plays a huge part too. I mean, there's good aspects, but I think there's more bad than good, honestly. When it comes to like parasocial relationships, usually that referring to like a celebrity and fan.
Like, you feeling like you know somebody more than like you actually do in real life.
But I feel like that can be. I have mutuals where I've never met them, never even probably heard their voice, and we go back and forth, like support each other, like, share, comment, all kind of stuff. And I don't know them like that.
Like,
having
rapport, almost relationships sometimes with people that you've never met.
That's so insane to me. And that's why when we go to social events and do things, nobody's interacting, nobody's talking. I think small talk goes a long way. I mean, just say, I could just say like girl, I love your outfit. Like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll get, the stank faces. I don't really give a damn, because I feel like as a yapper, I need that. I need to interact with people. So I'll say something, I'll kiki with somebody I don't know from a can of paint. And you never know, that could make someone's day. That could become a good friend of yours. You never know. But like, nobody's talking, and it feels crazy to me. Like, what are we doing?
And I can take it a step further. Like, I don't even feel like it always needs to be like a conversation. Like I feel like even like when you go to like parties and stuff, like just interaction and like dancing and just smiling at each other.
You make eye contact with someone, you like,
yeah, like just acknowledging each other's presence. Like
everybody's
like
like I'm with my people.
Yeah,
you're with your people.
Exactly.
Like we're we got barricades in between us. It's weird.
Right. And I feel like in certain social settings, I don't know, I do have a resting bitch face, but I feel like
that's a New York thing,
I am aware of it, and I also feel like I always am conscious of like me being open. And when I say open, like not me looking around, me like
not standing, like
opening my energy, you know, to people, like looking around and seeing like, and I just feel like people are just so scared to like speak to
and
each other.
And we don't mean look around and be like,
I feel like women do well with each other. Like I feel like, you know, it don't take much for us to engage with each other. Like we could just, bitch, I love your hat. Bitch, I love your outfit. Like,
or just
and it could be a
queer
kiki.
people.
Yeah, like
it's like, but
it's like, you know, it is definitely different now.
Yeah,
and I could definitely say after 2020, I could see a big shift for sure. Just in social setting.
I feel like we would have reached this point eventually, but it definitely was expedited because of 2020. I think for sure. Like,
yeah,
I think 2019
because it gave us a taste of like not having to to interact with people.
Yeah, or feeling
to
like
get shit done.
You got access to everybody at your fingertips, but do you really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I feel like through a screen and in person is two completely different experiences to me personally. And the last thing, I think that, you know, there's no spaces for people to go outside of work and home. I mean, we got clubs, we got lounges, but y'all in sections. They're closing libraries. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no like malls aren't a thing. Like like when I was in high school, them half a days we be in the mall just being like kids spaces. Just doing random shit. There's no third space. That's what it's called. There's
no Barnes and Nobles
hanging out,
sitting around in the Barnes and Nobles. No more, you know, cafes. I mean, everybody's just in their phone and their laptop. Like
nobody's talking. It's sad.
And you really do have to go the extra mile if you want to enter community. Like, you know, you have to, you know, seek out those things.
But then you really have to seek out, because even when you do, you know, continue to socialize as a person that does that, it's like looking at you like you crazy, like, oh my god, you're speaking to me, I don't know you.
Well, when I say seek it out, I mean like, you know, joining like book clubs and certain things.
You know, you meant just throughout the your daily.
You know, like I mean, like seeking out situations where you will be around like-minded people.
Right.
Going to church, you know, that's one thing for people. Or volunteering, or you know, running community things. You know, stuff like that. You have to look for it. You know, it's not a lot of just like, you know, just being able to just be in a space and get to know people. Yeah, but like it used to be.
But we gotta. I know. We probably. I mean, as a person that does enjoy her solitude, I think that it would be good for us. You know, baby steps. Be mindful. You know, like compliment somebody. Start with the little things. You know, smile at someone across the party. You know, don't be weird. Don't make eye contact and just have a blank stank face. Like, you know, smile. A little goes a long way, y'all. But yeah. Yes.